Jimmy in Cranston, Rhode Island. Hey, Jimmy, what's on your mind today?
Hey, Tom. Nice to talk to you. Gropey. I think
Yeah.
you might be onto something there.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on Gropey?
I like it. I like it. Last night on the Brian Williams show, the 11th hour, Nicole Wallace made mention of the fact that if things get as bad as they possibly might this November, and the Democrats, not only the White House, the Senate, and the House, she theorized that it might take the conservatives maybe a generation to recover. That being said, at the end of Bob Nye's segment yesterday, he came up with the absolutely fascinating thesis of party purity, where, if I understand this correctly, that Trump and Bannon were kind of coordinating to punish the Republican Party.
Yeah, Steve Bannon said a year ago, or nearly a year ago. You've got that clip, Shano, easily handy. Here's what Steve Bannon had to say. This is before he was running the Trump campaign, when he was just running Breitbart. Here it is.
What we need to do is bitch slap the Republican Party and get those guys, heaving too. And if we have to, we'll take it over.
And if we have to, we'll take it over. There you go, Jimmy.
Yeah, and according to Bob Ney, he said that if the conservatives in the House only had 50 members, but they were purist, that they would be fine with them.
Right.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes and no. I think these guys ultimately, at the end of the day, actually want to have control of the United States. But I think that they're looking at it with the long view, sort of a Susan B. Anthony view. I don't believe that their cause is right, but I think that some of them think their cause is right. And in other words, they don't trust democracy. They don't trust the average voter. They want the billionaires to run pretty much everything. They don't trust the government. They want the billionaires to run our commons and all that kind of thing. And they have some sort of ideological basis for this. And of course, they're supported by billionaires who would like to have it all. And so, Susan B. Anthony never saw women get the vote to get the right to vote in her lifetime. But that didn't stop her from doing absolutely everything she could to make it happen and supporting those politicians who were ideologically pure on that issue. And so, I think that there are some within the Tea Party / Republican Party who are willing to put ideological purity, above practicality. They're not compromisers. They're not people who are going to go halfway. And they think if they're going to get America to a country where the government no longer provides any kind of social safety net, no longer provides any kind of health services, no longer protects the environment from the predations of big corporations, no longer protects our water supply, does away with all the costly and unnecessary regulations, to use their phrase, that it may take a generation or two to get there, but they're going to try and get us there. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're so far outside the mainstream. I don't think this is women's suffrage or civil rights. I don't think this is something that is the logical end of the bending of the moral arc of history. I think this is an absolute aberration committed to an ideological / political economic theory that does not work and has never worked and has been proven over and over again to be a scam. I've been saying for a long time the Republican Party itself has been a scam basically since 1980. So, we'll see. It was an interesting point, though, Jimmy. You're absolutely right when Bob Ney said that. I think, though, the institutional Republican Party, which is basically just shills for the big corporations and the billionaires, they're pretty tenacious, and they've got more of the money. Jimmy, thank you for the call.